since I was thinking that it's almost the new year, we should try a new angle, right? So for Christmas, I got this awesome book called The Monsters Under Your Head by Chad Sugg. Now, Chad's already one of my favorite musicians, so automatically I would like the book. It's full of poetry, and there are also some written out songs from his musical project, Backseat Goodbye. Now, this gave me a random idea. Why don't I just give you a random book talk of all the books I like? Awesome, right? First of all, well, technically second, we have The Melancholy Death of Oyster Boy and Other Stories by Tim Burton. It's also full of poetry and art that Tim Burton has drawn. If you don't know who Tim Burton is, he's the guy who directed The Nightmare Before Christmas and Alice in Wonderland, the second version. The second famous version, that is. There are like billions of versions of that. And Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the one with Johnny Depp and whatnot. He also directed Sweeney Todd, if you've ever heard of it, / had any interest in it. Next, we have How Not to Be Popular by Jennifer Zeliger. It's about this girl named Maggie Dempsey, and her parents are hippies, and they move around a lot, and so they relocate to Portland, Oregon. Now, she decides that she doesn't want to hurt herself anymore because she used to have a lot of friends everywhere she went, so she just tried to avoid everyone. Now, you're going to see if this works out or not, because you're going to read the book. Next, we have Olivia Owen Lived Here. It's about a girl named Olivia Owen with autism, and it's just about her struggles. It isn't a true story, though. Either way, you should read it, because it's an awesome book. It actually made me cry, but then again, it doesn't take a lot to make me cry. Now, the next book is called 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. I love this book. I originally had to read it so I could write a book report on it, except then the more I was reading it, the more I was all like, I love this book. And so, it is a really good book, and it draws you in. It's about a girl named Hannah Baker who records these 13 tapes and sends them out in a shoebox to 13 different people. And so, these are tapes that are talking about people who somehow caused her to commit suicide. All of these people somehow pushed her over the edge. And a boy named Clay Jensen gets this box, and he has no idea why he got it. But then he learns, and then you're going to have to read the book to find out why he's in there. Next, we have Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. Once again, I originally had to read this for language arts, but it's a really good book. It's about these two men named George and Lenny who go to Soledad, California to find work on a ranch. It's a story about migrant workers in different difficulties, and it's just a really good book. And I almost cried when I read it. Almost. I was strong enough to get through this one. Lastly, I have picked one book to symbolize an entire series. This is like pretty much one of the greatest series known to mankind. No, you idiots, I'm not talking about Twilight. I'm talking about Harry Potter. I decided to pick the Deathly Hallows to symbolize my affinity for the entire series, because it's just the last book, so it wraps it all up, telling you that all was well, and that just because it's personally my favorite one. A lot of people I know think that the third one is the best one, but I don't really get it. Sure, this kid blows up his aunt, and then he goes to Hogwarts, and then it turns out that the prisoner of Azkaban is really his godfather, and his teacher is a wolf. I don't really get that one, but it's still really good, and so is the entire series. So if you haven't read it yet, read it right now, like before I explode from sadness, and then you'll see why I was so excited when I got this and this. So go read the books, yo, and then go see the movies. Because if you just see the movies and not read the books, it won't be as cool. I thought I was cool because I just saw the movies, but then I read the books, and I thought they were like, wow. Because reading doesn't rot your brain as much as watching a screen. So read books, kids. Eat your drugs, stay in vegetables, and don't do school.